Alright guys, I haven't done it in a while, so I'll do a longer form video for YouTube here. I tried an experiment. I slid the quad down and put the IMAX on the top. That's 13 feet to the tip. And it didn't work, and I know some of you might be like, of course it wouldn't work. It affected the quad and almost made it omnidirectional. And so I lowered the tower down this morning. That's probably going to go on my tower on the other end of the yard that I already have the footings poured, and I showed you guys in a different video. Because I need and want this to work as it should, and it just won't work sharing the same boom. So I have another 50 footer, which that'll go at the same height on the opposite end of my yard. So I just was redressing. Luckily I just didn't cut anything, so all I do is undo some tie wraps. It was kind of a test. It didn't work. While it was down, I noticed, you can't see it because it's too high, but that was loose. I must have forgotten to tighten it, so I tightened that up. I'm gonna stitch these videos together, but here it is laying down, and I'll bring it back up. I'll show you guys once it's back up. It goes back there to a tree, and I'll get into that too. All right, I got to redo my video. So anyways, here's the tower here. This is my box. So I have a couple runs of 75 ohm. One's going to be for an HF receiving antenna. The other's a spare. Cat 5, my rotor control wire, my polyphasers, my ground bus. Comes out, goes down to a ground rod. The ground's starting to freeze out here in Maine. So eventually there's going to be a ground per leg and then a halo. I did this for now. It's better than nothing, but I am going to do that. So I know on my rotor controller which way to turn that so that it lays horizontal. And I know if I measure out, I just pace out 23 feet to here. And I make sure that I got a 30-inch gap between here and here. When I lay my antenna down, or my tower, as long as that is horizontal, it won't hit the ground. It'll come in nicely, and then I can get to it with that step ladder. So I tried an experiment, it didn't work. The IMAX and the quad coexisting on the same boom turned the quad into an Omni, which is not good. But the IMAX, I increased my, like, the local people to me, where, you know, everyone's like S7, S9, they didn't notice a lot. People that were farther out, I could hear a lot better, and people were hearing me farther out when I was at 63 feet. So the IMAX is going to go on my other tower where I have my footing already poured, my pad, and I'll put a 63-foot Omni over there, and I already have underground conduit going from my house into my garage. So I just have to pull a piece of cable. I think it's about 120 feet to the garage, and I got enough cable either way. So I just climb up, I undo that sling. That's a piece of arborist rope. It's got a piece of steel cable inside of it. Drop all that down when I'm done. It doesn't take long to raise and lower it. Some of you guys have commented, oh man, must have spent a lot of money. Yes and no. I mean, I had to buy the concrete. I bought all new coax. A lot of this stuff, like the box, was being thrown out on a job site. I have a friend that works for the cable company, got all that 75 ohm. Ground bars being thrown out. The conduit was left over from projects. The ground rod, when I bought the property, they had goats here, and they had electric fence. I think I've pulled up like 8 ground rods. I just reused them all. The ground wire came from my dad, something he found at a yard sale. So, and I still have more to finish my job. So I mean, yeah, there was real cost here, but I didn't open a catalog and buy all of this stuff. This came, the Unistrut Wingnut had, it was left over from a job. I was gonna go buy it. I didn't have to buy it. The pole came from Swiper. Swiper found it somewhere. You know, the rope, that came from Screwdriver. So some of this stuff I had, some of this I had, some of this my dad had. So anyways, I'll show you the winch and why I'm not using that as a winch pole. I'll explain that. So I couldn't use that pole at the tower. It was too close and the forces were just too great for the pole. I needed to come back and get a higher lifting angle. And I was using a hand crank, and I didn't like that I had so this came from Harbor Freight. I don't have the remote on me, but it has a remote control. So when I'm raising and lowering this, I'm able to move around. I'm able to look at the tree to see what's happening. I'm able to go down here. I'm able to get like safely away. I'll show you this rope here. Will that focus? There we go. Nice steel cable in there. And just did a figure 8 with a safety knot. That's not going anywhere. That's like a climbing knot. So anyways, this is just a Harbor Freight receiver, and these ratchet straps probably aren't doing anything other than making me feel good. But I bolted it to the tree, and those are like 8-inch lags going into the tree, and I did some square tube to give something to get it up off the tree so that the winch doesn't hit the tree. And this will all come out, get stored inside, and I got this for dual purpose. I figured I could use it for my truck rather than just buying a $350 winch and having it sit and only using it twice a year. So some of you guys might be going, oh my god, he used a tree, he's gonna kill his tree. Well, if I kill my tree, I got a wood stove. And you know, I use comp before I lift and lower. I inspect the tree, I inspect the mount, make sure that it's okay. And well, my justification, that thing weighs 16,000 pounds. If I tried to push that over, you wouldn't budge this. Any of you guys ever operated an excavator before? Even the big ones, you still got to dig these out. You can't just grab this and rip it out of the ground. Now, a smaller tree, but tree like this, you got to dig that stump out. You're not. But I guarantee you, if I took that thing and I drove into that tower ramming speed, I bet you $1,000 that thing will fold that tower in half. This winch will fold that tower in half before the tree breaks. It's a 12,000 pound winch. So this will all come off and go inside. The only thing that'll stay here is this right here. Oh, this will stay bolted to the tree. The ultimate plan is to be on the hunt someday for either a good piece of I-beam or a really good stout piece of steel, you know, minimum 10 feet, maybe longer, sink it down with concrete, and then I want to put a light on it so I can light up my backyard. So I'll get more than one use out of it than just as a winch pole for my tower. Then I can light up my backyard when I let my dogs out, or if I want to look out here at night because I'm hearing something or I want to see something. And then I'll just take that off the tree and I'll weld it to the pole. But for now, this should suffice for about a year or two. This is not permanent, but like I said, like if you guys ever operate a piece of equipment like that, even if I took that bucket, it's got a grapple on it, you can't see it in the video, and I came over here and I grabbed this tree and tried to pull it over, you ain't pulling it over. So, you know, using common sense of inspecting that mount before I use it, make sure it's still secure, yes, we do that. But like I said, anyways, I'll just burn it for firewood someday. Got a lot of trees out here in Maine. So anyways, I just wanted to show you guys, I give you a long form video. There's the quad up there. Let's see if I can zoom in on it for you. And so you're probably wondering, oh, why does it look like the spreaders? They need to be bowed slightly to tension the wire. So that's why you're kind of seeing, they just have to be ever so slightly bowed. You need the wire to be tensioned so it doesn't wiggle a bunch when it's up there. So that's what you're seeing. And that's a 63 feet to the tip of that. So, and the bottom of the quad from the tower is about 2.5 feet. That's the minimum recommendation from the manufacturer. Like I said, I tried to scoot it down and put the IMAX up. It just didn't work. So I liked having the IMAX up there because it definitely gave me some far out receiver performance into the fringes. I was talking to a guy in Bangor yesterday on sideband. That's 95 air miles. on the IMAX up there. So what'll end up happening is, you can't quite see it. I'll try to zoom in on it. You can kind of see it now. There's my footing over there for my Rowan 25, and there's my Rowan 25 with the hazer all ready to go. So anyways, just wanted to show you guys that's what's going on.